By the way, before we continue, I just want to make this point. I was right. Dr. Albert Bourla, the chairman and CEO of Pfizer, in 2020, said on TV that their vaccine had a above 90% effective rate at preventing COVID.
Wow.
I mean, this is what does that mean, right? That's probably where the loophole is, right?
But no, I'm saying you're right. Like preventing,
Right.
that would mean that it can't be transmitted to you. It's
You would
not
think.
because it was
You would
only
think.
afterwards that they backpedaled and reworked their rhetoric to say, oh well, vaccines were never about preventing COVID. Or
Yes.
stopping the transmission. It's just about, so that your symptoms are more mild, and then people are still dying with the vaccine. And, it's like, well, that person would have died so much harder if they weren't vaccinated. Thank goodness that dead person was vaccinated.
And this is the thing, right? Because these vaccines are somewhat mysterious, and I don't mean like they're magical or whatever, but like the common man, like you and I, we don't understand exactly how to make one. We don't understand the manufacturing process. That's above our pay grade, right? But so to demand that we inject this into our system is nothing like demanding that you lock up your dangerous pit bull that's already bitten somebody. You like that's a completely different. You don't have to be a genius to understand that your pit bull who's bitten someone in the past, you needs to be locked away and needs to be chained so that they don't bite someone again. It's different than a vaccine. A vaccine is completely different. And not to mention the fact that there's just so many other, moral and ethical decisions that have to be made for any of these vaccines or any of these treatments. Like, it's just so complicated. And yet we were told that our Christian faithfulness, our Christian witness, our morality, our obedience to Christ was hanging in the balance if we didn't get the vaccine.
Yep.
And it was all propaganda at the end of the day. It was all based on a lie.
Right. No, I completely agree. There was one guy on Twitter that I saw today, the day that we're recording this, who came out, and I don't even know if he's a Christian, but I never heard of him before, but I don't know. I think he had a blue check, so whatever that means, but he had, like 30,000 followers or something like that. Like, it wasn't just a guy with like 2 followers on Twitter.
He's official.
Yeah, he's official in some capacity. Official for what? Official.
Who knows?
According to who? I don't know those answers. But anyways, like he just said, well, officially I was wrong about loving your neighbor by getting the vaccine. He said there's a whole bunch of people that I need to apologize to.
Yeah,
and it was like. It was really refreshing, and you just read the comments, and like Twitter is like, people aren't particularly kind on Twitter, and I'm not particularly kind on Twitter, like most of the people, there's plenty of people on Twitter that I could be kind to, but you on Twitter, it's kind of, you're mainly engaging people who disagree with you.
Sure.
And so, but everyone on this particular tweet was like, really, really positive, like, thanks, man, or appreciate that. Good on you, like. And I just remember thinking, like, why can't Russell Moore do that? Why can't? Like, I remember seeing, the picture of him, like, this Hobbit is getting his vaccine.
Man.
You remember that?
I'll never forget that.
Yeah, I'll never. Wish we could forget it, but but it was like, and he wasn't doing that. Like it's like we know his purpose. He outright said, but that in his rhetoric. But then even just in that image, it was. I'm an evangelical leader, and you should be doing this too. This is a moral thing. This is a moral good that I'm doing, right? Like, you're putting it on social media because you think it's a moral good that you're performing,
right,
and that others, should follow in your footsteps. And if anyone thinks I'm reading into the picture too much, like, just go back and look at some of the things that he verbatim said. Like, he very much...
Yeah, you're not.
Yeah, his position was that Christians, out of love for neighbor, should get a jab. And one of the high-up jab execs just said, we did not test this whatsoever in regards to its love for neighbor ability.
Right, because that was the whole case, that you can prevent transmission for your neighbor. That was the whole case. Yeah, well, you don't have to. I mean, that picture was especially embarrassing in my opinion, but you're right. He definitely wrote it. And lots of guys were writing stuff like this. And I wonder sometimes some of these guys throw around love your neighbor without really thinking about what they're saying, because what they are saying is that it's a part of the law of God. That's what Jesus said, love your neighbor as yourself meant. I think some people throw that around and it's just a slogan to them. But there are some guys that know exactly what they're saying. And I think one of those guys is someone that I addressed in a video today, the day we're recording this. His name is Andrew T. Walker. He's an ethics professor at Southern Baptist Theological Seminary. So as an ethics professor, he knows exactly what he's saying when he says it's about neighbor love. It's loving your neighbor as yourself. And he said that about the vaccine. Now, Andrew, I think is he's been pretty base lately, in my opinion. He's been taking some stands that no one in Big Eva is taking, and I got to applaud him for that, and I got to get his back for that. And I think out of everyone who has said this ridiculous thing that this is a matter of loving your neighbor as yourself, Andrew T. Walker could be a leader in apologizing for that. And you don't need to apologize to me. I was never going to listen to you. But there were people that did.
Right.
There were people that did. And I think that I don't know why he went this way, why he was so excited to turn government propaganda into Christian law. I don't know why. Was it fear? Was it, I don't know. But I think if anyone has the moral fortitude to change direction and to say, look, I was wrong on this one, it would be Andrew T. Walker. So I'm just name dropping him here because I want to increase the pressure on him. Good. Because I think he's already said, maybe I should re-examine some of that stuff publicly. Good for him. You really need to, because now that it's coming out that the vaccine didn't do any good and may have hurt as well, because I think that data is forthcoming. We have a lot of anecdotes that the vaccine has hurt people, but we don't have a lot of hard data. But that's coming. I think I've seen some stuff lately that kind of indicates that there's something going on.
You
here.
got Steve Deace. Do you know Steve Deace from The Blaze?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's coming out with The Fourth Reich is his new book, and that's going to be coming out soon, where he calls for a new Nuremberg trial, basically on all the vaccines. But he's been tracking a lot of stuff, and other guys have.
He has been tracking a lot of data.
But if you just look, you're right. We don't have the hard facts, but what we do have is general things like how many heart attacks in young men, under the age of 40 do we have? In a typical month, in a typical year.
Excess heart attacks, you have a certain amount of heart attacks as a baseline, and then how many excess? Right.
And then it's shoots through the roof, or people are saying we have this thing SADS, it's been around forever, SADS, right? SIDS, right? Every parent's nightmare, sudden infant,
SADS.
Right? Sudden infant death syndrome. But also, everybody's probably heard about SIDS, right? And everybody's also heard about SADS, right? Sudden adult death syndrome. That's been around for decades. No, it hasn't.
Like 2 years.
Right. And even with the SIDS thing, and this is crazy as a parent, because I didn't do all these things right. The last 2 years, my wife and I rethinking everything. Are we going to get vaccines for, are we going to get 17 vaccines every month for the first, 12 years of our kids' life? They put them on this regimen from the day they're born, where it's just shot. And thinking about okay, so all of a sudden everybody's getting this vaccine, all these adults are, and then, we have SAD, sudden adult death syndrome, people just killing over heart attacks. But then it kind of gets you thinking about SIDS.
Oh, totally.
What if SIDS, 100%. Right? How many of these babies that just, there's no cause, we don't know what killed them, the parent just wakes up, it's a nightmare come to life where they walk over to the cradle and the baby's just laying there dead. But now a lot of people are coming out and saying, yeah, this happened 2 days after my baby's shots, or this happened. What if I remember watching this video, this mom just in tears saying what if I killed my baby? I didn't know. Obviously, she's not morally responsible.
Of course.
In that, but dude, what if you know what I mean? So, anyways, and that's the mercy of God that a lot of things are being exposed. But anyways, all that being said, you're absolutely right. It didn't stop transmission and very likely killed a bunch of people. Go ahead.
And so these people that tried to make this a matter of loving, they were eager to do it. They were eager to say Jesus would tell you to get the vaccine. Love your neighbor as yourself. They need to. First of all, they need to apologize. They need to make it right publicly. But then after that, they need to look into their own hearts and say, well, why was I so eager to take a government lie that was so obviously a lie at the time, and now it's being revealed that it was a lie? Why was I so eager to push this on people and to make it a matter of Christian imperative for people? Because a lot of these guys didn't just get their vaccine and go quietly about their day. They were proud about it. They posted their stupid Hobbit picture. You know, they even wrote articles like Andrew T. Walker that said it was a matter of loving your neighbor as yourself. And I don't mean to pick on Andrew Walker, because a lot of guys did this. The only reason I'm name dropping Andrew T. Walker is because I think out of all the guys that I know, he's the most likely to lead on this and say, I was wrong and we were wrong and we need to correct this.
Big news. Really big news. Our next Right Response Conference is in the works. We've got a number of things already lined up and organized. This is what we got so far. The whole conference, 3 days long, on postmillennialism and theonomy. And the speakers, Dr. James White, Dr. Joseph Boot, Gary DeMar, and of course yours truly, Pastor Joel Webbon. We've got a great lineup. We've got great topics. If you want to find out dates and location and registration and anything else, go and visit our website, rightresponseconference.com. rightresponseconference.com.